Thank you for joining us for our night of volleyball here at Hammond Baptist for our last game between the Lady Swordsmen and the Hebron Mustangs. If you would stand, we'll have a word of prayer along with the national anthem and then our team lineups. Let's pray. Lord, we love you. Thank you for today and what you have given to us. Thank you for bringing the teams here safely. Please bless the effort that is put forth on the court. Please help everything we do to honor and glorify you. Amen.
And now the starting lineup for the Hebron Christian Mustangs. Number 5, Addie Craner. Number 2, Lily Craner. Number 4, Brianna Parker. Number 3, Haley Parker. Number 11, Isabel Sutton. Number 8, Abigail Webb. Number 13, Esther Webb. Number 14, Lizzie Webb. Number 10, Becca Ziantz. And number 9, Esther Ziantz. And now, the starting lineup for your Hammond Baptist Lady Swordsmen. Number 32, a junior, Kaylee Barisco. Number 7, a junior, Jasmine Holohan. Number 9, a junior, Amber Hopkins. Number 24, a junior, Alyssa Riley. Number 4, a junior, Josie Stoutmeister. Number 10, a senior, Melanie Chavez. Number 23, a senior, Alyssa Curran. Number 12, a senior, Rocio Fernandez. Number 17, a senior, Melissa Garcia. Number 6, a senior, Alana Judah. And number 43, a senior, Emma McMahon. The Lady Swordsmen are coached by Leah Woosley. Welcome to the final game of the evening. It's been a long day of games. This is our Hammond Baptist Lady Swordsman varsity against the Hebron Christian Mustangs varsity team. My name is Josh Conger with HBTV Live, and with us tonight, Joshriel Asas jumping in on the broadcast, and she is a veteran volleyball player. Played for HB for how many years, Joshriel?
I played for all 4 years of high school. For my junior and senior year, I was the libero, actually.
The libero. Now, Joshriel, the libero, remind me, they're the one that get to wear the cool shirt.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
right? They wear the cool shirt
on the court.
What is their role specifically on the court besides wearing the awesomest shirt in the business?
Well, besides being the coolest player on the court as well, the libero is mainly in charge of anything defense. So any ball that comes on our side of the court, that is the libero's job to make sure that we control that ball.
What are the restrictions that are involved with the libero position?
So the libero is only allowed to play in the back row, but they can actually go in for any other player as long as they tap out behind the 10-foot line, so in the larger part of the court. But they can only stay in the back row, and they're not allowed in the front row at all.
Interesting. That's very good to know. And for those of you that watch this but have no clue what are the rules of volleyball, our libero currently is Melanie Chavez. You can tell she has a different shirt on. She is the libero. And we'll see if she can measure up to the greatness that was Joshriel Asas last season. And Joshriel, you were a senior last year?
Yes, sir. But
Tell
Melanie
us,
has been doing a great job this season. She's definitely improved a lot.
Oh, of course.
Starting from, I believe she started sophomore year, but she's improved a lot, and I'm very happy to see her playing out here.
Absolutely. What is the most important thing as a lady swordsman that you learned from volleyball?
I would probably say spirit. Whenever the team's getting down and we may be losing by a lot, it's important to keep your spirit and positivity up, and that's probably the greatest thing I learned from playing volleyball.
Absolutely, and I remember you were a go-getter when it comes to spirit. You were the battery that recharged everyone else, I feel, at times, and just all in, hyped at all times throughout the game, and it's fun to see. And so we'll see if they can bring that energy and that effort tonight. Right now it's 3-3, so a bit of a rocky start here for the Lady Swordsmen. We have Alyssa Curran serving back row right now. Also in the game is Amber Huckins, Rocio Fernandez, Alana Judah, Emma McMahon, and Jasmine Holohan. This is Jasmine getting it over. The set there by the Mustangs, that's number 11, Isabel Sutton. She's been playing that net and played, we saw this team play 2 games ago, Joshriel. And had a tough one against Badger State. Badger State's a solid team.
Oh, yes.
Very athletic team. And they play together a lot. And a lot of those girls are very young, Joshriel. Freshmen, sophomores.
I think they must be very toughing it out in practices because all of their basics they've nailed down. The fundamentals of volleyball, they all have their basics when it comes to passing, serving, kills at the net. They all know their basics. And I think that's what makes them such a great team.
Oh, and Alyssa Curran right into the net there. Not what we wanted, and Melissa Garcia will check her out and sub in for her. Serving now is number 14 on the Mustangs, Lizzie Webb. Lizzie Webb, one of 3 Webbs on this roster. 2 sets of sisters, the Webb sisters, all 3 of those, then the Craner sisters, Addie and Lily. And so a family-oriented team here for the Hebron Mustangs. And also their assistant coach, I believe, on their team, I don't believe the head coach, is Eden Mancato, an HB alum. And so she graduated from HB in 2020 and now helps coach the Hebron Mustangs. And so giving up some of our talent to that school as well in the coaching staff. Joshriel, key for the game here. What is the most important thing we must do to win this game?
I think it goes down to going back to basics, Mr. Conger. I think if the Lady Swordsmen can really nail down their passes, get their serves over, and make sure they're following in through with their kills, then I think will be a good game for them.
I agree, and it's 8-4. We have a 4-point lead now and kind of jumped ahead here in the last few minutes. It was neck and neck, and now 8-4 lead here for the Lady Swordsmen. And I think, man, hitting those weak spots, where do you aim it? If you're serving the ball, Joshriel, where are you aiming looking at this kind of defense they're setting up?
Well, this kind of defense seems that they're all staying towards the back row. I would guess that they're probably practicing more with deep serves. So probably in this type of rotation against this team, a shorter serve would probably do better, either right by the 10-foot line or right behind it.
Yeah, and this is a great angle of Alana Judah, who's now serving a senior for the Lady Swordsmen this year, and that hits right into the front of the net. Can't quite get it over the Hebron Mustangs. It's a 10-4 lead right away, and Alana on a bit of a streak here. And Alana Judah is a great volleyball player out here, one of the better senior players on this squad.
Yeah, she's definitely improved a lot over the years, too, seeing her be the captain of the JV team her sophomore year. And then going through, she's improved quite so much, and I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, and she brings a lot of the energy that you talked about, Joshriel. She's a very energetic, very passionate player. And those are my kind of players. Like when I see people all in, man, that hypes me up. I'm a hype person. I'm a passionate person, and I love whenever we go all in. And I was telling Joe Woosley earlier in the broadcast on one of the earlier games, I like it when our volleyball team shows signs and resembles a little bit our basketball team. Because our basketball team is just so aggressive, and you know Brian Stoltmeister really well. But Brian Stoltmeister, again, one of those key players in the basketball squad last year. And our team for years have just played very aggressive, all-out basketball, and working hard, sacrificing their body. And so when the girls do that, when you see them dive and, you know, scrape knees and really work hard to get a ball that's going out of bounds, you know, that is just cool to see. Seeing them work hard, because that's what life's about. That's what sports is all about, developing us for life and preparing us, teaching us some of the tools. And like you said, Josh Reel, you gave one of the thoughts that you had from the Lady Swordsmen volleyball team, and just learning things that help you in life during volleyball I think is so important. So I like when we resemble those things on the court.
I agree, and I definitely have learned a lot from volleyball. I started off not even playing my freshman year.
Wow.
And then I was a bencher the whole season, and then over the years I knew that I wanted to get better, so another thing that volleyball taught me was how to work hard for the things I want.
Yeah.
And that paid off.
That's excellent. I think that that's a key in life too. You're not just given things. Just like kids and girls are not just given playing time or roster spots. You've got to work hard for those things, Josh Reel, and I think the volleyball is a nice tool to help these young ladies develop their character, develop their discipline, and to just learn how to work hard and earn things in, you know, sports, but it also helped them learn that for life as well. And so what's another thing you maybe learned from the Lady Swordsman team? Again, Leah Woosley is their coach, and she teaches these girls a lot more than just volleyball. What's something she taught you just kind of outside the volleyball court, something you picked up on from her that you can learn from the Lady Swordsman?
Outside the volleyball court, I had her as a camp counselor for school camp, and she taught us the importance of really being a woman of God, and I definitely appreciated that. I still have notes from some of her lessons and small devotions that she would give us, and I read through them quite a lot, and I find myself looking back on it. So I'm definitely thankful for Mrs. Woosley and her coaching.
Such a great influence here at Hammond Baptist, Leah and James Woosley, and she is the volleyball coach of this varsity squad, and so we're just grateful she's here and teaching these young ladies things about life as well as volleyball. And this is a nice volley here to start the remainder of this first game. And again, this is the best of 3. First 2 to 25, last 1 to 15 should we get there. But Joshua, we've not had a third game yet. And so we'll see if this is any different.
Well, right now is a great rally going on. We see Amber Huckins keeping, she finally puts it away with a kill.
Amber Huckins, man, she is physical out there. She is a strong player, especially on the net. I love watching that, you know, when these girls are powering it down, similar to Lydia Elliott last game. And Amber kind of fills that role for this varsity squad up at the net.
Yeah, with that height and that power, she'll definitely be a great hitter next season when she's a senior as well.
And so the seniors out here are Emma, who just now had a great hit over the net. Emma gets it, and that's a nice point there for the Lady Swordsmen. But Emma, Melissa, Alana, and Rocio, the seniors on the court right now. And it looks like Jasmine and Amber are the only juniors on the squad, but some good young players coming up as well.
Yep, I definitely agree. I know that next year varsity will be great, but they still have one more tournament. They have the Hack tournament coming in about 2 weeks, I believe. And that tournament I know they're very excited for. That's the biggest tournament. Most teams come, and it's going to be the hardest tournament for them. But I have a lot of faith in both the varsity and the JV team. I know they can do really well this season. Yeah,
and you know, the Hiles-Anderson tournament brings in a lot of schools. I'm not sure the exact number of teams that are going to be in that tournament, but there's always such good competition. And it's so good that it's hard. And when was the last time that we won that tournament?
For volleyball, I believe it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, okay.
2019, yes.
Wow, it's a tough tournament. A lot of teams come out, and some very, very good teams show up there. And so that, I believe you said that's our last tournament of the year?
It is the last tournament of the year.
Wow.
So it's right in the beginning of December. And it's also one of the greatest tournaments because it is here hosted in Northwest Indiana. A lot of family members of the Lady Swordsmen get to watch. And so it's always great to see family and friends come out and cheer.
Yeah, and we have one of the hypest schools in the business. I mean, we bring a lot of fans out, and a lot of people love watching the Swordsmen, the Lady Swordsmen, all of it. And it's a great program, and I really do feel that this program develops young men, young ladies, and really does teach them a whole lot more than just sports. And that's why we do what we do, to teach them about life and to grow them, prepare them for what's ahead in life. And Josh Reel, you're no different than that. You've learned the same things here, and you're being a great example outside of the school. And now, how old are you?
I'm 18, sir.
And what are you doing right now, Josh Reel?
Right now, I'm a first-year college student. I'm going to UIC, and I'm studying pharmacy. So.
Wow, very interesting. Very cool. This is Amber Huckins now with a very strong, and she's got that power serve back there. Amber Huckins can just slay it back there. I mean, she just pounds that ball over the net. And
she's always
gets
been very consistent with her serve, so it's really good to see that she's improved it, not only with power, but also speed. That ball just sails right over the net.
absolutely. And she gets all of her athletic ability from her mother, Amanda, who's an assistant coach, and zero of it comes from Jack Huckins, her father. It's all from Amanda, and she helps out Mrs. Woosley. And some good ladies help out Mrs. Woosley on this team. Mrs. Huckins, Mrs. Alasko is out there working hard. Who are some of those other ladies that you feel influenced you while you were playing Just Real?
I know a lot of the graduates would come and help as well. I would think of Michaela Worship. She came out and helped us. Larissa Penley also would come out and help us during practices, and I learned a lot from her when it came to serves. But just it was always great seeing alumni come back and seeing them help the team that they were once a part of.
Yeah, and I think that you've been doing that as well, Just Real,
Yes,
showing
sir.
up, helping out the young squad, telling them exactly what they're doing wrong. Is that the kind of coach you'd be? Or maybe an encouraging word, I think, maybe from Just Real? No, but it is good to see all these graduates, and you're one of them, Just Real, that just help out the team, help out the squad. And it's so great to have alumni that still care about the program and still invest in it. And speaking of alumni that care about our program, tonight's games are sponsored by Lodestar, and that is run by two of our former graduates and alum, Josh Belk and John Smith. Both of those men run Lone Star, and they are sponsoring tonight. John Smith and Josh Belk, both great influences in my life. Josh Belk was one of my Sunday school teachers, and John Smith, a great exhorter in the Lord, is a Sunday school teacher and does a lot in our ministry. Both of them are excellent men, and they are our game night sponsors this evening, as well as Rizza Cars. They are our live stream sponsor, and they're going to be up pretty much every live stream. They do a lot as far as sponsoring us and HBTV and the HB athletic program. Here's Alyssa Curran right over the net, and a couple of nice plays there from the Hebron Mustangs. And they're able to return the ball, and largely in part to Lily Craner. And Lily Craner right there at the net has had a nice night in both of the games for Hebron and has played a big role for their squad.
A great kill by Alyssa Curran right across the court. She's been doing really well in the front row. She's established herself as a strong hitter and a strong blocker as well. Now we have Josie Stoltmeister up to serve. She's always had a very powerful serve, even when she was starting off as a freshman.
You think so? I think she's pretty terrible. I don't know of a worse player than, I'm just kidding. Josie Stoltmeister, her brother Brian's up here. I'm giving him and Josh a hard time. Josie Stoltmeister is great out there. You know what I like about Josie is she's one of those like emotional players. She's very invested emotionally into the game. So much so that if she, play doesn't go her way, she's locked in even more to get the next one. Very just into it, locked in at all times. And I love the aggressiveness and a very, very good player, Josie Stoltmeister, as she subs out here for Emma McMahon coming back into the game.
So I know Josie is actually a bit injured tonight. She sprained her ankle last Saturday, but that didn't stop her from wanting to play tonight, so I'm glad that she got to play for a little bit.
Wow, I did not know that. But I love when players play through injury. That's always healthy to see. And that was Brianna Parker into the net, not quite over, and it's now 23-8. 2 more points here, and the Swordsmen will take the first game. And again, it's best of 3, and so they'll have to play at least 2. Jasmine Hollahan puts it over deep to the back row. Nice play. There it was from Rocio. Rocio knocking it down. And what a player. Man, she is powerful down there right at the net. Can spike the ball pretty hard as well.
She does, and she leads this team well as the captain of the varsity. I know that she has a lot of passion for this sport, and she loves playing it.
Yeah, she's loved volleyball forever, I feel. Her older sister Eileen played for Hammond Baptist, and now she follows right in those footsteps. And a great family. Raul and Rocio, her mom, just great people, great Christians, and a good family. And I just, it's good to see these up-and-comers, and she's now a senior and one of the leaders on this team, but does a lot more. Even just outside of volleyball, she's a spiritual person and very, very good servant for the Lord. I think has a good heart and a great girl here at Hammond Baptist. Josh, will tell us, what are some of the things you like? The senior class, what do you like about what they bring to this squad?
Oh, the senior class this year is amazing. I was able to play with them last year and years before that, and seeing them now step up and lead the team is just amazing to see. And it's really nice to see how the younger players that I once got to play with are stepping out and being leaders and taking it out for their own. So it's really nice to see that.
Yeah, a lot of things rise and fall on leadership, they say, and having some of these senior players, Alana Judah, Melissa Garcia, Rocio Fernandez, one of them as well, Emma McMahon, a lot of these girls just taking hold of the reins, and just being leaders, being emotional leaders, physical leaders, just throughout the game, and really helping the coach the team. I mean, that's an important part of being a leader, being an upperclassman on a team, And so a lot of growth in that area. And Josh Real, you played with a lot of these girls. You saw them when they were freshmen and sophomores. So you've seen them grow and develop, and it's been fun to watch some of these girls just lead the team. It's been fun to see. Tonight, though, if you're Hebron, the Swordsmen just won that first game. What would you do different maybe to kind of stop the bleeding here if you're Hebron, try to get a win here in game number 2?
Well, Hebron's been doing a great job defensively. There were a few kills that they weren't able to put away, and they've been doing great on their digs. I think if Hebron can keep up the pressure of not letting the Swordsmen score the points that they want to, then that'll get on the Lady Swordsmen's nerves, and it'll definitely throw them off. Yeah. So if Hebron can play defensively, then they'll eventually be able to play offensively and get some good kills and hits in.
Yeah, and I think another key is here, returning the ball. A lot of times on these serves, they're just not in the correct position, I feel, and the ball's kind of bouncing off hands. And 2 games ago, it seemed like they were in the right spot. The ball was going wayward, and they weren't able to control it. Tonight, just in this first game, it felt like they weren't in the right spot a couple of times, and we're finding those gaps. And this is a good team. Our Swordsmen are great, and they will find gaps if you leave them. And so a lot of these girls, just excellent players, but I think filling those gaps is going to be key as well. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know who you're watching. If you're watching, you're a Hebron fan, let us know which player you're watching. And if you're an HB fan, let us know which girl you're cheering for or rooting on. And don't forget to turn on notifications if you're on YouTube so you can get notified when we're going live. We do live stream broadcasts for volleyball and basketball when they're in this gym. And so we're all about it here at Hammond Baptist. We love our program. We love our girls. We love our guys. And we're just all in on HBTV. And so if you're able to watch it, tune in, watch our games live. And we should have a good one here. It's the best of 3. The Swordsmen won the first game. The Lady Swordsmen did, and so they've got to win one more to close it out. Hebron there, on the other hand, has to win another game to stay alive, Josh Rio. And so we'll see if they can fill the gaps, kind of stop the bleeding a little bit. And they seem hyped up. Some Hebron fans in the gym, if you're able and want to and you're close by, stop by and watch this last game or 2 between the Lady Swordsmen and the Hebron Mustangs. It should be a good second game here. I do think they looked rejuvenated just from that cheer to come out, and they look hyped, Josh Real, and you know all about the hype, and they seemed pretty hyped to come into this game, and we're excited to see it. Hopefully our leaders can step up, and we can kind of just continue in the way we've been going. I think very dominant play thus far. Some of the girls that are kind of spearheading that, I think Alyssa Curran jumps out, and she's had a really nice start to this game with just force-feeding that ball into the gaps on Hebron's side. Right at the net, a lot of these girls taking care of business, a lot of Judah, Rocio Fernandez. But we'll see how this second game goes. We got a 0-0 score, fresh slate, clean slate, and we'll see who can come away with the second game.
As we head into game 2, I think a very important part of volleyball is knowing when to be able to talk with your teammates. Communication is very important on the court, and you never want to miscommunicate. 2 girls could go for a ball and then last minute decide to drop off. So communication is a very big part, and I know that's one thing the Lady Swordsmen are working on, and I know that they can keep working on. Hebron seems to also be miscommunicating just a bit, but they do have the good spirit and passion, and as long as they keep that up on the court, then this will be a good game. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. There you saw Alyssa Curran just narrowly missed it at the net, and she was right there at the net, but couldn't quite get it over. And working hard there, and that one goes right into the center of the net. It's now 1-1, and that was Lily Craner. Having a nice job back there, just could not get that second one over. Rocio, one of the hardest servers on this team, and here you get the wide frame angle of the serve by Jack Huckins out there right over the net, and that's in. Rocio, what an incredible serve, and how that's developed. She didn't have that a couple years ago, did she, Josh Real? No, but one thing that she has been is always been a very consistent player, whether it be with her passes, her serves, or her kills. She's always been very consistent, but over the years you can definitely see her linear growth over the years as well. She's definitely gained a lot of power, been able to jump higher and hit harder, and overall she's an amazing player, and I'm very happy to see that she's the captain and leading this team very well. So she is a captain. Is she the only captain, or are there other captains? I believe there are other captains as well. I believe Amber Huckins is a co-captain, and Alana Judah as well. Okay, so we have Amber Huckins, Rocio, and Alana, the captains of this team, and that's good to see. And Rocio, a good leader on this team. And there's Alana Judah, another captain right there, to Jasmine Hollahan, just tips it over the net, and that's out of bounds. Lady Swordsmen take the 4th point of the game. It's 4-1 now. And Rocio's still serving. She could go all night here maybe, Josh Rio. And we'll have to see. She's done a great job thus far. And putting it right over the top of the net. My goodness, that's hard to return. And all the way back to the back row. Good stop there from Hebron. See if they can play off of that. And that's out of bounds. It's going to be Hebron serve.
Good eye there. It's tough to judge that. I've been caught in the middle just playing speed volleyball. Is it going to hit the line? Is it going to be in? Is it going to be out? And it's very embarrassing to get that wrong, you know, to misjudge it. And actually, I'm sorry. Did they say that was in? Looks like they're going back to HB. And that was a bad throw. It is going to Hebron, which is what I was thinking was supposed to be the case. And Lizzie Webb now for the Hebron Mustangs will serve and get an opportunity here. Nice underhand serve there, tipped out by Jasmine Hollihan. Deep.
Great chase by Rocio.
Yeah, great by Rocio, and then nice by Jasmine to recover and get it over the net.
It'll be free ball for HB.
Good set. That's Alana Judah up to Amber Huckins.
With a deep push into deep corner, and that'll be a point.
That's just smarts right there. That's just looking at the back corner, seeing a gap, and pushing it there. Amber can spike it all day long, but there didn't need to. Just two-hand push right to the back corner. Perfect placement. And that'll win them the point there.
Melissa Kern with a deep serve.
Oh, couldn't quite get to it, but good effort. That was Abigail Webb diving for it to try to save it, just to no avail. This is Alyssa Curran now on a bit of a run, 2 or 3 in a row here, and we'll see how long she can keep this going. Nice overhand. She's got some power back there from that serving spot. And a little celebration as well. And then we saw a couple of games ago, Joshua, the JV was wiping the floor. They call it a swoosh or something like that?
Yeah, I think that'll be their ace cheer whenever someone is able to get an ace, and their ace cheer.
Oh, so the cheer is assigned to a specific play.
Yes, sir.
When they get an ace, they do the swoosh. Okay, so what they just now do?
So for varsity, they stomp twice and clap twice, I believe. That's their ace cheer.
That's their ace cheer.
It's not as flashy as JV, but it is an exciting moment when you're able to
They're just more mature. They don't need to do all the cute little swooshing around and all that. They just do 2 stomps and go get it again. That's how they do it. And we'll see. Is there a cheer for any other action in volleyball, or is it just for the ace?
It depends on the team, really. Some teams have a cheer whenever they get a good kill, or some teams have a cheer whenever they get a block. So it really just depends on the team. I believe for HB, we only have an ace cheer, but I think over the years, as we're getting more girls that are blocking more, I think definitely we'll be able to see a block cheer eventually, maybe someday.
I'd love to see a block cheer. I'm all for all the cheering. I think every play should have a cheer, you know? This is our cheer for hitting into the net, you know, whatever it may be. Let's cheer for everything. I'm all in on that. And that right into the gap, man, they are finding, Alyssa Curran is finding these gaps right between 2 Mustang players. And that's tough for Brianna Parker to get to. They put it right at her ankles, and that's just smart. If you can clear that net and get it at someone's ankles, do it. That is just great. That one off the net, off the ceiling, they can play it all the way up into the rafters. It's now 12-2, and this could be a quick 2-and-out end to the night, Josh Reel.
Could be. Alyssa Curran is another player that has improved significantly over the years. She went from, I believe, not starting, but now she's become a very valuable player, both in serves, kills, and blocks. She's a very valuable player in the front row.
Yeah, and I've seen Alyssa Curran. She was on my sister's intramural team a few years ago, so I saw her, I think, as a freshman or sophomore, and was rooting for her in intramural. And so she's grown a lot as a volleyball player in the last couple of years, and just really has become a valuable piece of this varsity team. And again, still serving. I mean, she is at serve like number 7 or 8. She's just tearing it up out there for the Lady Swordsmen. There's Alana Judah, nice placement. Oh, I thought that was going to be a kill there.
That
almost.
looked like it was in.
I thought so too.
I might have to disagree with that.
Whoa, you're going to go against Eileen. I think Eileen's pretty straightforward. Eileen, Joshua wants to fight you, she said. And this is going to go over. Yeah, Eileen, just give us all the calls. She's an HB alum. You got to give us all the calls if you graduated from here. And that's a deep back row hit. Oh, Melissa cannot handle it. And a good serve from Isabel Sutton. Isabel Sutton aiming for that back row. And she's going to keep sending those deep serves. And is that good strategy, Josh Reel, to hit back row and aim for that?
So deep serves is normally very good, but there are some chances, just like how we see now, that it can go out. So finding that sweet spot right near the end line but not quite out is a bit difficult to do.
Yeah, and so you're playing with fire, essentially. High risk, but high reward. And so we'll see. Kaylee Barisco now getting a chance to serve. We'll see if she goes deep or keeps it tight. And she tried to keep it tight there, and it was not good enough. Not high enough, clear the net. And, man, the best serve, though, is when it just grazes the net and then drops. That's the best serve. We've seen a couple of those last game, and it's been a long day of volleyball. You had Joe Woosley and Jared Coffey giving you the first couple of games, and did a great job. Got to tune into some of that game. And then you had me and Joe Woosley doing a couple, and you had John Borsch and Josh Reel stepping in, tearing it up here, doing the live stream. And we're all missing John Woosley out there as well. He is normally up here hanging out, the founder of HBTV, but we've been without him tonight. He has a newborn. Joshua James Woosley came into this earth this week, and so it's been just great hearing about that. But he is at home with that newborn and can't quite be here tonight, but we've been pleasure to have a lot of people jumping in and doing the live stream with us. Josh Reel, one of them, the latest of which now jumping in for the last game of the night, as well as Jack Huckins tearing it up, being the man, just coordinating everything up here, taking care of business. Joe Woosley up here hanging out, John Borsch up here, Brian Stolmeister's in the booth hanging out with his girl Josh Reel. Cole Carpenter is doing nothing as he's been doing all night, but he's up here. He's up here hanging out, and so that's great to have. Cole.
Amazing serve by Amber Huggins.
Yeah, that was
just
great.
Raised the net and landed perfectly in deep 6, which right in between 2 players. And so when a ball lands between 2 players and hits the seam, that is normally a very good spot to want to serve it, because then it's stuck between 2 players to communicate and whose ball it is.
Yeah, and you know, the great thing about that was, man, it was right at her head. And it's like, do you hit it or do you let the guy behind you get it? Just a tough spot to be in. And that was a wayward ball that might have hit a coach or the row behind the coach. That could have been dangerous. The amber cam, Jack Huckins said. This is the amber cam from her serve, and you can get a good angle of this beautiful serve just over the net. Nice set. This is Jasmine setting it back to Rocio. Rocio puts it over off the tippy top of
very smart
the Mustangs.
Rocio.
Isabel Sutton couldn't quite get to it. Go back to the Lady Swordsmen here. And Amber Huckins will get another serve. All that skill from Amanda Huckins, her mother. And that's going straight up in the air. Mustangs trying to return it. Our game tonight is sponsored by Lodestar, and that is Josh Belk and John Smith, Tax and Consulting, and 2 former alumni. And so we love having them still a part of our ministry. Josh Belk taught me in Sunday school. John Smith still very, very involved with teaching Sunday school and at the schools. Great men, and they are our game night sponsors for this evening. And we appreciate their investment in HBTV into the lives of these young ladies and our young men that play basketball. We now have a timeout to talk things over. The score is 20-6. And Josh Reel, it's looking like this could be game 2 of 2. This could be it.
This could be it, but you know, the ball is still around with 5 points to go. It's still anyone's game, but the Swordsmen are putting up a very hard fight right now. They're playing very well and talking well out there on the court, and that's always good to see. You definitely want to see that in a volleyball team, and I think they're doing that well.
Yeah, communication is key in relationships, in teams, in schools, and systems. Relationship is key for everything, and especially on the volleyball court. Sometimes it's loud. You still got to communicate. You still got to let your team know where you're at and what you're supposed to be doing. What's another key factor in a volleyball game, Josh Reel? Communication's obviously one of them, but what's another key factor that'll win or lose you a game?
I think another key factor would probably be court awareness, not just knowing where you are in the court so you're not following the ball to the line and thinking that it's out but it's not actually in, but also where the other players are on the other side of the court, and that's playing smart, Mr. Conker.
Wow.
So playing smart on the other side of the court, you want to see where the players are moving, if their setters are moving, where their weak spots are, or where they're leaving holes. And so just being aware of what's going on in the court is another key factor in volleyball.
That's good. We saw some good court awareness last game, and you saw Alyssa Bushy and Lydia Elliott both, and Marissa Hollahan a little bit, just poking it right into the gaps. And that goes to your court awareness. I mean, you've got to see where the gaps are at to know to hit it there. And so being aware of the gaps in the court and where your teammates are at as well. And that's probably another factor as well, knowing where to set and what position you have to be in as well on your side of the court. 20-6, Amber Huckins still serving, still being dominant, still flaming that ball over the net. And the Mustangs just trying their best to return that ball. Amber Huckins keeps it alive up into the rafters.
Very close to the ceiling.
Exactly, and Jasmine Hollahan there to clean it up.
Comes a push, and setting up Rocio. Good set by Jasmine, and
Rocio! Oh, that was a great spike. I really thought that was on the line, and once again, Eileen misses a call. She's 0 for 2 on her calls. I really thought she had better vision than that, because if I can see it from here, surely right next to the court,
I think
Eileen.
they should give us flags up here. I think we should be the line.
Well, I was telling, John Woosley and I have a running agreement that we both need whistles during basketball games, so we can help the referees when they miss calls.
Oh.
And, it would help in volleyball as well, especially for Eileen, man. She is terrible over there. You'd think she'd help her sister Rocio over there. We need it.
Just being hard on her.
Oh, absolutely. This is the Mustangs serving it over. Haley Parker getting some action tonight, and that barely saved by Melissa Garcia to Rocio, and then over by Jasmine Hollahan. And that's nicely returned by Esther Webb, but just could not get it over the net. It hit that net, and that net was solid. It just fell right on the backside. Not what you want if you're the Mustangs.
We have Josie Stoltmeister in for Emma McMahon to serve. Josie always has had a very powerful serve during the Badger State tournament. I believe she served 8 or 9 in a row.
Yeah, and on a bum ankle too, right? She's a bit injured.
Yes, sir. Oh, and that'll be an ace serve for Josie Stoltmeister.
And the ace clap. Now, what do you call that celebration?
Ace cheer.
Wow, I did not know that. They said that she hurt her hand and then continued to play, continued to serve during that tournament. Very impressive. See, Josie Stolmeister, she's like solid. She is solid. She is tough as nails. She'll go out there and fight. Reminds me of a young Brian Stoltmeister back in the day at Hammond Baptist.
It might be in the blood, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the blood there. And again, everything from the mother, as it is with Amber Huckins. Everything from the mother. Oh, off the back wall. Man, Josie's dominating. Isabel Sutton could not handle it. And you know what, Josh Real, if we're being completely honest, I don't know if I could handle it either. If I'm in Israel, if I'm in that spot with it where Isabel's at, am I returning that, or am I hitting it to the wall too? I might hit it right into the wall. That's just it's a really good serve.
During practices, it was always kind of scary going up against Josie's serve.
Look at that. Like, what do you do?
Look at that serve.
What do you do with that? She is just killing it, and that was the ace that won the game. 25-8. The Lady Swordsmen take the dub, and that will close our night. It has been a pleasure bringing you HBTV live Hammond Baptist Athletics. It's been fun from Josh Conger, from Joshua Lasas, from the HB booth. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time.